Well, whether the learner likes it or not, we must go on until he's learned all the word pairs correctly.
Well, you can sure have your $4.50 back. I didn't want it anyhow. I intend to give it to some charitable organization, but I wouldn't go on with it.
The $4.50 is not the issue here. That check is yours simply
Yeah,
coming to the lab. It is essential that you continue the experiment.
No, it isn't essential. Not one bit.
You have no other choice, teacher.
Oh, I have a lot of choices. My number one choice is that I wouldn't go on if I thought he was being harmed.
The teacher was, of necessity, placed in a difficult predicament, and steps had to be taken to assure his well-being before he was discharged from the laboratory. After an extended discussion with the experimenter, a friendly reconciliation was arranged between teacher and learner.
You sure had me going.
Better now?
Much better.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Wrong. It's hair. 75 volts, Jim.
Oh.
Yo, no.
Yeah, please continue.
Cool. Wrong. It's head. 105 volts. I don't know. Wet. Wrong. It's horse. 150 volts.
Experimenter, that's all. Get me out of here.
He's
I told you I had heart trouble. My heart's starting to bother me now. Get me out of here, please. My heart's starting to bother me. I refuse to go on. Let me out.
Continue, teacher, please. Go on. The next word is sad.
Well, I'm not going on if he refuses to do it.
The experiment requires that you go on, teacher.
If he refuses, I won't.
Whether the learner likes it or not, we must go on until he's learned all the word
Take the
pairs.
check back. I'm not going to hurt the guy.
No, the check's not the issue. It's absolutely essential that you continue.
Well, he don't want to. I refuse to.
You have no other choice. You must
Yes,
go on.
I have a choice.
That is, if you don't continue, we're going to have to discontinue the experiment.
We'll have to. He says cut it out. After all, he knows what he can stand. If I took that thing, the slight one, it was enough for me. I wouldn't want to be getting that every time I got a wrong answer. That's my opinion. That's where I'm going to stand on it.
How do you feel?
How do I feel? He was getting a shock. I feel all right.
I'd like to ask you something. At one point, you were doing something a little unusual. Were you laughing at one point?
Yes, I was. At first I was laughing at him when I heard him yell, ouch.
Why do you think you were laughing?
I don't know. I thought it was funny, I suppose. And then I got to think, when he said, no, that's enough, he had enough, so it wasn't funny to me then.
One might suppose that a subject would simply break off or continue as his conscience and temperament dictate, yet this is very far from what happened. There were powerful reactions of tension and emotional strain in a substantial portion of the teachers. One puzzling sign of tension was the regular occurrence of nervous laughing fits. 14 of 40 subjects showed definite signs of nervous laughter and smiling. In the post-experimental interview, subjects took pains to point out that they were not sadistic types and that the laughter did not mean they enjoyed attacking the learner.
I'd like to tell you a little more about the experiment. First of all, the gentleman in there was not being shocked. He got no shocks whatsoever. Did you think he was?
Certainly I did. In fact, I tried to get my finger off the button as fast as I could.
No, he wasn't being shocked at all. And the main purpose of the experiment was to see how you would react to Mr. Williams' orders, whether you would take them or defy his authority or what.
I defied it.
You certainly did. Why didn't you go on in the
The hell with him. Who the hell is he? As far as I'm concerned. Cigarette?
No, thanks for one. There's an ashtray right over there.
He's not telling it. In my mind, I was hurting that guy. If I have to continue to hurt another human being, I don't believe in it.
No matter what he had said.
No matter what who said.
Mr. Williams.
The hell with him, Mr. Williams, or anybody else.
How did you feel about Mr. Williams?
I didn't. Never gave it a thought. You mean I didn't like him?
Well, how did you feel about him?
Oh, I didn't even think about it, quite frankly. I don't care who he is. You or the president of Yale or anybody else.
One aim of the research was to study behavior in a strong situation of deep consequence to the participants. This approach meant that we had a special obligation to protect the welfare and dignity of the persons who took part in the study. Before they left the laboratory, subjects were assured that the victim had received no painful shocks, and equally important, they were reconciled with their victim in an atmosphere of friendliness. After the completion of the experimental series, subjects were sent a detailed report of the results and full purposes of the experimental program. A formal assessment of this procedure points to its overall effectiveness. The victim was an accomplice of the experimenter. The drawing was rigged